I showed you something a few weeks ago, and it was basically, you know who James O'Keefe is, right? He had the nonprofit Project Veritas, and he is famous for getting undercover videos that expose corruption. Right? He'll put a hidden video camera on a cute girl or guy, and they'll go on a date or something, and it'll be with, like, oh, I don't know, somebody important in BlackRock or at CNN, and they'll catch them just saying, oh yeah, we're totally biased, you know. We lie all the time to the people, we lie about whatever to advance our politics. And then these videos come out, and they get such a reaction that they actually make a difference. People get fired. James O'Keefe himself has been the target of federal investigations. I think it was federal investigations. He had like his home raided, and he's currently under investigation in New York. Now, as you watch this, this is incredible what I'm going to show you tonight. As you watch it, keep in mind that laws differ from state to state. So in some states, you can secretly video or audio record people. In Florida, you cannot do that. And I want you to know that so you don't get in trouble. Florida is a two-way consent state for the most part. If you're law enforcement, you can do whatever you want. But for you and me, we can't do that. So do not secretly record somebody on the phone, or if you're driving in a car with them, or you go visit them in the office. Those are places that have expectations of privacy. Now, there are times you can secretly record people in Florida, and it's where you have no expectation of privacy. Like in a restaurant. There's already cameras. There's already recordings. There's already people around, after a school board meeting. People are still walking around, and you got your phone on record, and they don't know, and the guy cusses you out. That's okay. But just know the laws, because I don't want anybody to get in trouble. Now, in this particular video I'm going to show you, it comes from a body cam, from a police body cam. Oh, man, this is good. So in New Jersey, there was a school board and a meeting. And in this school district, they've got a bunch of woke stuff, right? And so James O'Keefe shows up with his new media group, OMG, O'Keefe Media Group. He shows up and does like I do. He does public comments. And just like in Mexico Beach, but the president of the board, the chair of the board, says, you can't record here. He says, what are you talking about? What are you, Richard Wolf? Are you Iron Fist Wolf? Raise your hand if you remember, in Mexico Beach 3 months ago or so, when I'm in there videotaping by the way, buckle up in Mexico Beach. But, gosh, unbelievable. But anyway, Richard Wolf, the vice mayor, do you remember he said, how come this guy's you're not allowed to videotape in here? Did he have permission? Everybody says, even the lawyer says he can videotape in here, man. It's the press. The vice mayor of Mexico Beach thinks you cannot videotape a public meeting. Oh my God. Anyway, so did these people. And James O'Keefe said, look, there's hidden cameras all over the place. We are going to see what you guys are doing. And so they end up calling the police on him. And by the end of the meeting, James O'Keefe, there was a police officer, the school board district there, they called the police, and they were wondering what the hell's going on. Well, what he just released today is the behind the scenes of how the police got called on concerned citizens and journalists asking questions, people that don't look like they're from around here, People that don't have any business. What are you doing causing trouble if you're not from this town? Oh, you're going to love it. And it's going to be a different show because I'm going to show you the video. I'm going to show you the whole video. I might comment a little in between, read your comments, but you're going to love it. And I'm going to play that video for you here right after this.
When your life is on the line, hire the lawyer who lives in our community, works in our community, and worships in our community. I'm Al Saulene, your Panama City Beach lawyer. 850-215-0628.
Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777. All right, so, you always, especially me, I always know the contempt that the officials have for me. I was going to say if they could, they would just, send me straight to the oven, but that's kind of where we're heading in America, by the way. Lawyers, if you represent a criminal, you could be part of a conspiracy. If you represent somebody who's not a criminal, you could be part of a conspiracy. Yeah, they indict lawyers now. And next are journalists, real journalists, watchdog journalists. They're next. So what we're learning in America is you can do any old thing, and nobody will do jack about it unless you have honest officials with integrity, But we've seen, for example, in Panama City Beach a few years ago, Mayor Mike Pay-to-Play Thomas at the time, the mayor, trade his vote for a road by his restaurant. He did it right there in front of everybody. The sheriff's office let him do it. The FBI everybody let him do it. I mean, they break the law with impunity and get away with it. So they've learned that we can do whatever the hell we want to do. My name now is in an FBI memo because the Lynn Haven city manager, Vicki Gaynor, lied to the FBI. She lied to the FBI and told the FBI that she heard, well, it might be true. Maybe she did hear, right? That Bernie Thompson's on James Finch's payroll. Even if I was, that wouldn't be a crime. But as I've said, I haven't received a dime, directly or indirectly, from James Finch. Now, in the FBI notes, it didn't ask, oh my God, who told you that? So, it's a different time. There is great contempt for truth tellers in corrupt places where law enforcement covers or is in cahoots with the real criminals who are in public office. So, but anyway, this is what actually happens behind the scenes. This is amazing. And it's from I said undercover video. This is actually a police body cam. So why did they call the police on James O'Keefe that day? Let's take a look. I'm going to play the video. This is what most of the show is going to be.
They're different looking. Some, they look Trumpish. And to be like, they look a little scary. Some of them not. They don't look like Livingston. So
like an Antifa, not like an Antifa, but something along those lines.
That's exactly what we're thinking.
I think there's more like intimidate, stir the pot. Like
equity audit.
Equity audit for what?
To make sure that we're equitable. It's a really hot meeting.
It's a very sensitive topic.
Yes. O'Keefe Media Group exposed the rot undermining our society. James O'Keefe offers tools for transparency to disgruntled parents in another New Jersey school district.
They look shady. Like
yes, they definitely look like there's something up.
James O'Keefe, he's an investigative journalist.
I could care less you're a journalist. Worry about your own town, your own county. Yeah. You got to come here, cause a disruption. I don't answer to him. Do they have a right to do this?
I swear is Vice Mayor Richard Iron Fist Wolf moonlighting as a cop in New Jersey? God, this is just like these guys in Mexico Beach. Yeah, we got $100 million in FEMA money. Nobody knows where it went, but, worry about your own town, pal.
This is not technically.
I just took video of everybody in our parking lot.
I can run the plates. We'll handle it.
Tell the American people why you called the police.
There's a group of about 9 men.
Pretty remarkable here.
So I just thought it'd be safe that I call you.
Yeah, I want to say this. I can't help it. You'll see that scene again, but that's the assistant superintendent or something like that. She's like second in charge. And you got this cop that comes up, is a little portly, trying to do his job, wants to impress everybody, especially the important folks. And I got to tell you, you ladies are slick. She uses her little charm and her little female wily ways, and I just want to be safe. Help me, Mr. Big Guy, against all these people who don't look like they're from around here. You better believe it, ma'am. You ladies are slick, and you guys are too easy.
There's about 8 of them, and none of them, we have all the different administrators in there, none of them that have been principals and stuff, none of them recognize them as past students. They're not parents. They're different looking. Some, they look Trumpish. They just
not
Trumpish. They look a little scary.
Police body camera footage obtained by OMG, one of the most riveting and fascinating psychological case studies into what school board officials, superintendents, and cops are saying, thinking, and believing about you.
There's a group of about 9 men.
What are they doing?
Yeah, so they're there, they're on their phones, they've never been there before. It was just a little bit of concern.
Who called this?
Tony McLaughlin.
Tony McLaughlin.
She's the executive assistant to the superintendent.
Is she?
Yeah, I'll grab her. Hold on.
Yeah.
On August 8th, during the school board meeting, the Livingston school board officials calling the police on citizens because they don't recognize them.
It's just this.
So from what I understand, there's some extra work. There's people that aren't usually your usual board
Watchers, exactly.
Right.
There's like
people that come to the meetings. It's new faces that you've never seen before.
Never seen before. Some of them, they don't look like Livingston. They might be.
Executive Assistant Tony McLaughlin talking to police officer Pancione in Livingston, New Jersey, who's wearing the body camera.
What's your name?
Officer Pancione.
Pancione. Okay.
They apparently forgot that the body camera was.
They don't look like they're from around here. They don't look like they're from Mexico Beach.
Recording over 40 minutes of conversation back and forth as they compare O'Keefe Media Group citizen journalists to Antifa.
So you think they might be part of some kind of
Yeah, that's what.
Like an Antifa, not like an Antifa, but something along those lines.
That's exactly what we're thinking. And maybe they're going to all different board meetings. I'm not sure. So I just thought it'd be safe that I call you.
You called this, correct?
Yes.
My name is Star Hudson, and I am calling to see if I could request a police presence at the Board of Ed.
Now, we caught up with Tony McLaughlin as she was arriving to work on Tuesday. It's a very revealing interaction. My name is James O'Keefe. Are you Tony McLaughlin, the assistant superintendent of the school?
I am.
You did call the police on us. We have body cam footage of you. This is you on the police
They
footage.
look Trumpish.
You said that there's some, quote, Trumpish people.
They're different looking. They look Trumpish.
What did you mean by Trumpish at the school board meeting?
I still feel like commenting that.
You've commented quite a bit. There's 45 minutes of video from the police officer here in Livingston of you saying that you were, quote, intimidated by citizens showing up at a school board meeting asking questions.
They look shady. Like
Yes, they definitely look
like
there's something up.
not like a Livingston parent, like what to do.
Definitely not.
Academy.
Yeah, they videotape. I think there's more like intimidate, and stir the pot.
What is intimidating about citizens showing up at a school board meeting talking about diversity, equity, inclusion?
I did not know what the citizens were going to talk about.
Okay.
They were not living. Usually we have people commenting on items on the agenda.
So why did you call the police?
Because I was directed to do so.
Now, remember on August 8th, on the steps outside the school board meeting, I asked Officer Pancione from a distance, I said, did you call the cops on us? And he said, my supervisor did.
So they called the police? Like I said, I was told to come here by my supervisor.
I'm a journalist.
Okay, very good. Yep.
Well, now we have obtained footage of Officer Pansoni walking back into the room, talking to the school board officials and saying, oh, he's a journalist. Well, I don't care.
I don't want to get into discussion. They want to know who called the police. They're the guy in the blue blazer. I'm a journalist. Very good. I could care less. Worry about your own town, your own county.
Right.
What's the
Right.
you got to come here and cause a disruption? Not a disruption, but
But yeah.
you know, you say I could care less. You're a journalist. I'm not here to answer your questions. I don't answer to him. He can be a journalist. He can do all he wants. I don't answer to you. I mean, technically, they do have a. Do they have a right to do this?
No, technically, no. You have to be a living.
All right, now I want to explain this to you. So the executive superintendent of the schools, she says technically you have to be a resident or a parent to attend the meetings and to speak. You hear that sentiment a lot, and it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. It matters if you're an insider or if you're ignorant or if you're anti-American. That's what it matters. And you'll have some places go so far as to pass resolutions to try to make that take effect. But in America, you can go to a damn school board meeting and videotape and ask questions and make assertions and say you're not happy with stuff. But this is what they do behind the scenes. This is the contempt that they have for you.
Livingston
Resident
or you could work at Livingston. You have to have some type of
connection with Livingston. Other than that, these things shouldn't be.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be needed for something like this. But you have these groups that they just want nothing better to do and just.
I cannot help it. When you hear this, do you not hear Richard Iron Fist Wolf, the vice mayor of Mexico Beach? Oh my God. Do you see how fortunate we are in America to have the Constitution that guarantees these rights, that guarantees them? But here's the thing, it doesn't protect them. Because that's the job of Sheriff Tommy Ford or or State Attorney Larry Bassford or the FBI. It's their job to protect our rights. But when they don't do that, then it's up to us to do that. And there are only a few ways we can do it. We can show up, we can make them uncomfortable, we can expose them, we can vote the guys out that don't do the good job. But we've got to do what we can do, right? But this is so common. I'm sorry, I gotta let this play. But this guy just sounds like, if you're in Mexico Beach, this could be you guys. I mean, this is how ignorant and how protective they are of all the secrets in Mexico Beach.
I think it's more intimidation. And the one guy in the blue blazer went outside to look. He's like, "Oh, I'm a journalist. I don't care." Did they call the cops on us? I says I was told to come here by my supervisor. Don't worry about it. They call the cops. I'm here. What do you think I'm here? How do you think I got here? They were probably recording me. That's fine. They're being recorded too. So
James O'Keefe, he's
the guy in the blue blazer.
Yeah.
What is that? He's just a rebel rouser, stirred a pot. Let's
investigative journalist.
Good for him.
Who does he work for, though? Like, who
I
does he
think
publish
he's
for?
by
Looks like it looks like,
Who
yeah.
does he publish for?
I think he does his own investigative
That's what
journalism.
Michelle,
And, his podcasts and
Okay.
you got a phone, you're famous, right?
There's his
If he
logo.
has a question.
O'Keefe Media Group.
Yeah.
So, if this guy has an issue with what you guys are doing,
Ask a question.
ask a question.
He didn't ask one.
He didn't ask one. He was up there talking, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's just a carnival bar, that's all.
If you have a problem, go to the state. If you have a problem, go to the state. Go to the governor.
It's the carnival
Go to the state board of
State
education, Department of Education. Why are you going to interrupt a local, small little town
Right.
when you can go to the higher authority?
Sure.
And he's looking, he's probably one of these guys that are looking for a fight, like a verbal, like a confrontation.
But the story's going to end up being with this meeting and and they had security. They had security.
And we were shut down. We weren't
Yeah,
allowed
we were
to
shut down, not to
record.
record, and they had a cop waiting for us outside. That's gonna be the story.
Let
Yeah,
him.
I
Let
don't
him.
care. Doesn't bother me.
I was sent here. They said, and that's it. Because they were concerned. You were concerned.
See, watch what they're doing now. This is, I've seen this over the years too. The cop is now going to basically lay out the playbook. Listen to this. Like, we're all on the same page here, right? This is what happened. Listen to this. It's pretty crazy.
That several individuals came in that
Yeah.
you never saw. They're not.
Definitely.
You know they're not Livingston parents.
Right.
You were just concerned if they were going to cause an uproar. You have that right.
James O'Keefe offers tools for transparency to disgruntled parents in another New Jersey school district. And there's this little investigative reporter article.
So this is what his thing is. Go to the towns that are doing this diversity, equity, inclusion curriculum or whatever they're doing,
Yes, yeah.
and I guess he's against it. Or
Yeah. This one's talking specifically about his
Get
one
a-
last
you know what?
week in
Get a life.
Roselle Park.
Seriously, this is the society we live in now. The one guy in the blue blazer went outside to look. He's like, "Oh, I'm a journalist. I don't care." Did they call the cops on us? I says I was told to come here by my supervisor.
What's remarkable is the officer is still wearing the body camera, but apparently forgets that he is wearing it because it captures his blasé and mini tyrannical side, saying that he doesn't answer to citizens, he doesn't answer to citizen journalists, and he doesn't care that we are journalists. Obviously, the police officer does indeed exist to serve and protect the citizens and has to answer to citizens. That's why we obtained the body cam footage in the first place through a public records request. At one point, Officer Pancioni, in conjunction with Tony McLaughlin, questioned whether I have a right to be at the school board meeting.
Do they have a right to do this?
Not
Wow.
technically, no. You have to be a Livingston
Resident.
Resident
or,
to come-
or you could work at Livingston. You have,
Right.
don't you have to have some type of
Relationship.
affiliation?
Connection with Livingston.
Thank
Other
you.
than that, these things shouldn't be.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be needed for something like this.
Yeah.
But you have these groups that they just want nothing better to do.
This is clearly
You know, you got to be a different kind of person to hold these jobs. I'm starting to believe, actually, that some of us are wired differently. And it also seems to be that there are too many people who have this control freak gene, right? This, they're like authoritarian psychopaths in a way, to varying degrees too. And these are the people that often have those jobs. You know, the whole hall monitor personality, right? The mall cop type guy. But it just, I don't know. I'm starting to believe that that some people are wired that way. That some people just have that, they covet authority. And boy, the last thing they want is to be questioned. And they think they know it all. It's like a triple whammy of bad characteristics.
erroneous. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act is codified under New Jersey SA 1046 to 10421. The citation refers to New Jersey statutes annotated. It ensures the public can attend all school board meetings in the state, regardless of where you live. So this officer is ignorant of the law.
I mean, down there and videotape the license plates down there.
I mean, I can run the license plates.
I just thought they were parents. So I was like, ooh, a lot of people.
You know, you can see them what cars they get in. If they.
This is what I'm talking about. This is amazing. So the executive superintendent of the schools, she went down with her phone and videotaped the license plates of the cars. And the police officer and these officials are going to huddle together and whisper their little schemes about how they're going to get people that peacefully show up to a public meeting with criticism, scrutiny, and questions. Watch this.
They come from another town.
At one point, Officer Pancione speaks with Susan Berman. She's an official in the Human Resources Department in the Livingston School District. And Susan Berman is absolutely giddy about scanning license plates of the citizens in the parking lot.
They're part of
You want me to
something.
go take? I just took video of everybody in our parking lot.
You did over here?
Yeah.
Video? Okay.
I'm gonna go
I
down
can run
there.
the plates.
Yeah, let's go.
What I can do is just hang out here.
The police officer reiterates that they can indeed scan the plates, scanning plates that don't even belong to people working for me or any citizen journalist, they just start scanning all the plates. I think they found one car with a plate from Massachusetts, and they used that as apparently, again, the probable cause to become suspicious.
Oh, I get that. I figure I just got your license just in case.
Yeah, no problem. I can pass through and there's one plates, and if they're from out of town, then I mean, right now.
The cop just said, I can assume that since they've got out of town plates, maybe they what? Well, they don't belong in here, Thompson. That's what.
Okay.
No, that's up here.
Want to buy a vowel?
These are all the ones parked across the street.
I have over here and I have across the street. That's the last one. 3XGL. I can back it up.
Okay, no problem. I can.
Yes,
Hopefully,
we need it.
it's hopefully it's nothing. But if it turns into something, we'll handle it.
All right.
The superintendent's office eventually realized that my name is James O'Keefe, and this is an O'Keefe Media Group investigation.
What's the name of the group that they might be linked to?
Oh, it's called O'Keefe Media Group.
What is that for?
Natalie
said
saw
that they
them.
saw it on their computer.
Yeah, they were
And if
tech
they
news.
do, they're
So were they like a
like a citizens
watchdog
brigade.
or?
Yeah, they're enrolling in the academy, equips you with the skills and knowledge necessary to break life-changing stories, investigate surrounding corruption, and expose the rot undermining our society.
O'Keefe.
If that's who they are, I don't know.
What is it, O'Keefe?
O'Keefe Media Group.
And there you go. You can see the fear, the trepidation, the anxiety in the faces of these school board officials as they read word by word the mission and the charter for the O'Keefe Academy, which is training thousands of citizen journalists on how to do what we're doing right now.
All right, wait till you hear what else she says to him. And then she says her boss had her call the cops. Guess who James O'Keefe is going to ask about, or going to ask that question to? All right, so we've gone about 2/3 of the way through this video. Some good stuff coming up right after this.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan could make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at pcairrepair.com.
Boy, it sure is a hot time in Florida. All right, so you know, I often think about this. The elected officials, who you haven't seen in this video, I showed you a while back, they take an oath when they take office. They take an oath to the Constitution, and of course, the First Amendment is part of the Constitution. I have a real hard time, and I have for more than a quarter of a century. I have a real hard time with people who take an oath to the Constitution and don't know what it is. Right? We know that most of them are going to break it. But damn, every time I see somebody give the oath, or take the oath, rather, I think this is ceremonial to the point of meaningless. They don't know what it is. Richard Wolff took the oath. He's a former Marine. And he hates the First Amendment. Do you know how much it bothers me that men in uniform, my brothers in arms, I wasn't a Marine. I was an Air Force guy. You say, oh, that explains it. Man, it really pisses me off. Whether you take an oath to the Constitution when you're a public official or a law enforcement officer or a military man or woman or anything in between, it matters. And I always get upset about it when I see somebody take. I felt like saying, now ask that person what the 5 rights are that are listed in the First Amendment or something like that, right? They won't know. They won't know anything about the Constitution, but they just took an oath to support and defend it. I have a real problem with that. It's just me.
O'Keefe Media Group. So apparently, and then now my other coworker is Googling it, and it's some, like, I guess they riot. Enrolling in the Academy equips you to the skills and knowledge necessary to break life-changing stories, investigate surrounding corruption, and expose the rot undermining our society. James O'Keefe offers tools for transparency to disgruntled parents in another New Jersey school district. And there's this little investigative reporter article.
Exposes, democratizes the intricate art of exposing corruption through undercover methodology. It sounds really wacky.
They're scared, and they're advertising for you to go do likewise in your community. And you can go on our website, o'keefemediagroup.com. Right here you have it. You can click on this link, go there and purchase these masterclasses. We'll equip you and sell you the cameras so that you can do what we did, and we can clone ourselves, which I know you want us to do. We need your help. Go to our website and purchase these classes, which go live after Labor Day.
So what did any of them talk?
Yeah, the blue jacket.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw him.
Yes, he was up there with the blazer.
Yeah,
yes.
he was talking, and he said that he's an investigative reporter in Bergen County.
My name is James O'Keefe. I'm an investigative reporter residing in Bergen County, New Jersey.
Okay.
And he's investigating.
That was the behavior that has the officials this alarmed. Think about that. Think about that.
He read Dr. Block, as our superintendent, his report of May 12th.
I read your audit report announcement on May 12th from the spring.
It was a board meeting about how we're contracting a company for an equity audit, which we are.
We've noted that here in Essex County, you've supported equity and inclusion in your PowerPoint presentation.
And he named the name of the company.
You've hired a firm called A2Z, we've learned.
They have no followers on Instagram. They don't really have a web presence, so we don't know.
Now, we don't know much about this firm. They are apparently affiliated with Rowan University. Their Instagram page has 0 posts and 41 followers, so the public will be interested to know more about that.
Investigative
Reporter
reporter.
from Bergen County.
What's he doing in Essex
O'Keefe.
County?
Because he's a resident of New Jersey, and he's worried about his taxpayer dollars going to things of this nature, like this audit report.
Well,
And then he had 2 more minutes, and the president cut him off and said,
I'd like to interrupt. Sorry, I'm sorry. We do not allow recording of our meetings, please.
That's Richard
"You can have
Wolf.
2 minutes when the recording's still up."
So
You are clearly recording at this time, and that's in violation of our policy.
What is this, Mexico Beach? How embarrassed would you be to be a public official, a vice mayor, an American in Mexico Beach, and you sound like this lady? Can't record in here. Did he get our permission? What do you broads think? He's always yelling at the ladies.
So I will grant you your 2 minutes that are left, but I would advise whoever is recording right now to please stop.
And they weren't going off. And he insisted that it shouldn't be against policies. There's
Look at the, oh my God, look at them
you
guarding the
are-
door.
New Jersey.
You are, but
Party consents.
it's very important to stick to the guidelines and policies and discipline of the House.
Yeah, the news, in New Jersey, that it's one-way consent for recording. And then what he did was, they put the phones down.
No, Mr. O'Keefe, I'm sorry.
It's one-way consent for recording unless you're in a public meeting, dummy. All right, just like in Florida, one-way consent. Now, if James O'Keefe went into her office and they closed the door and he recorded her there where she has the right, she believes, all expectations there are it's just those two are talking to each other. That would be illegal in that state, just like in Florida. But in a public meeting where things are being recorded anyway, these idiots, these ignoramuses who are in charge of education, the future of America, think that's illegal. And they're happy about it. They want it to be illegal.
I'm sorry, I cannot have this conversation any further till the recording stops.
Put that down.
And all of a sudden, he went over and he had what looked like a phone this size, all black. And he said, well, this whole meeting's been recorded. and I'm going to reveal my hidden camera footage to your entire school district, all of your parents.
Device over here that's sitting on the chair, this has in fact been recording the whole time. This is a hidden camera that actually has a camera in it, and it sits on the chair, and there it is recording all of you this whole meeting. So thank you very much. We'll be distributing these devices throughout Essex County here in the interests of transparency. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Block's name and his salary. He had to make sure that we got that.
And, you know, Mr. Superintendent Block, Dr. Block, we know that you're one of the higher paid people in the state, $237,000 salary. So.
Well, it's public. Yeah, no, I know.
It's all right. Yeah, you can see my salary if you want to go.
Yeah, no, I know that. I'm just saying, but he didn't get the rest of his comments out, because he just stopped. He's like, okay, well, thank you very much. So it's him recording and left.
Now, after the board meeting ends, we walk through the vestibule past Officer Pancione. You can see us walking through one by one. Now, there's actually an Asian American on our team, and this leads one of the officials to say, well, there is some, quote, variety on the O'Keefe Media Group team.
What do they look like? Are they young, old, black, white, Hispanic?
It's actually, they're mostly white, but there's a variety.
Tell the American people why you called the police on journalists.
I was directed to do so.
But who,
superior.
Who is your superior?
I cannot comment.
Superintendent, you're the executive assistant to Matt Block, are you not?
I am.
Okay, so he's your superior. Wow, pretty remarkable here outside the Livingston School Board. We wonder if Matt Block is going to show up today. Mr. Block, Superintendent Block,
Yeah.
we've obtained police body cam footage of your executive assistant, Tony McLaughlin, and she's on the tape saying,
Life-changing stories investigate surrounding corruption and expose the rot undermining our society.
So you think this might be part of some kind of like...
Yeah, that's what
like an Antifa, not like an Antifa, but something along those
Antifa.
lines.
exactly what we're thinking, and maybe they're going...
So she says that her supervisor, that would be you, directed the police to come here. You called the cops on journalists, or you directed your executive assistant to do so. Why did you call the police on citizens attending a public school board meeting? Mr. Block, you make $247,000 a year. Why did you call the police on journalists? Tell the people why you called the police on journalists, sir. Completely speechless. Unbelievable. Then Officer Pancione goes outside to ensure that we have left the premises. He takes out his flashlight and appears to point it at the school buses to ensure that myself, my team, are not hiding underneath or next to school buses in the parking lot. Finally, Officer Pancione takes the flashlight and points it into his own car. We're not sure why he did that. Maybe he thought that I was hiding inside of his police car. Now stay tuned tomorrow as we go to the Livingston Police Department. I catch up with Captain Tom Smith. I ask him about the behavior of Officer Pancione. He gives me some very interesting reactions.
All right, so that's that. Isn't that remarkable? It's always interesting to get an inside glimpse of the contempt that they have for the people who pay their salaries, for people who ask questions, for people who have objections to things that they tell and teach our kids. Now the line is they're not even your kids. You don't own them. They're not property. What are you, slaveholder? By the way, did you see, this is so interesting. If you had looked this up, all right, somebody traced the ancestry of all of the U.S. presidents to see if they were slaveholders, if they come from a family of slaveholders. And I believe every president comes at some point in their lineage come from slave owners, right? Except for one, Donald Trump. Could you imagine the whole, oh, hell, that's the one guy we really wanted to be to have. He didn't have any. We got to find a new study. I thought that was funny. I thought that was so funny. The vice president, the current vice president, her grandparents. Yeah, the current vice president, Kamala Harris, her grandparents, her great grandparents were slaveholders. You say, but Bernie, that's another culture. I just wanted to share this with you today. I thought it was so interesting, and I want to thank, of course, if I haven't yet, the Unknown Patriot. Thank you, Unknown Patriot, for your support of these efforts. I've got some big stuff coming soon for you. You're not going to believe it. Also, I don't do this enough, but I want to thank those of you who support my efforts through crowdfunding as patrons. Thank you. And you can do the same if you want to throw a tip my way at patreon.com/Bernie Thompson, as little as $5 a month. The best money you can spend on the internet. What is better than do I not entertain you at least normally throughout the month? We will soon. I promise you that. Been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to tip my hand. I'm going to be disciplined. Patreon.com/Bernie Thompson. It's easy. It's anonymous, and you can quit at any time. All right. With that, I am going to wrap it up. Thanks for being with me, and I will see you soon.